Coming up on this week's local show, we celebrate Veterans Day at the National World War I Museum.
And we take you to the birthplace of this holiday that honors those who have served. And guess what? It's not too far from here.
Plus, we honor local people who put service above self. Their stories are told in the new book, Kansas City Spirit.
And we continue our series, Women and Girls Lead, as we meet metro area artist Peregrine Honig.
Principal funding for the local show provided by Francis Family Foundation, Frederick and Louise Hartwig Family Fund, Kaufman Foundation, Healthcare Foundation of Greater Kansas City, Hall Family Foundation, Johnson County Community College. Additional support provided by and KCPT members. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Nick Haynes.
And I'm Randy Mason, and welcome to this week's edition of The Local Show.
This Sunday night at 5:30, KCPT airs the documentary Veterans Day 11-11-11, a nationwide day-in-the-life exploration of what it means to be a military veteran in this country.
More than 40 accomplished video storytellers volunteered their time and talent to produce a series of profiles about the service shared by veterans and the sacrifices that they've made.
Every story in the movie was shot on Veterans Day 2011. That's the title, 11-11-11.
One of those stories was made by local filmmaker Jason Rhodes, who profiles the service of area veteran retired Colonel Robert Dudley. His story will be seen by the nation on Sunday, but you get to see it now on The Local Show.
On the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, the guns lining the bloody trenches that scarred Europe ceased. It was the war to end all wars, if only that turned out to be true. For nearly 90 years, we have tended to the memory of men and women who put on the uniform of this great country, served, were wounded, or died in the service of everybody who sits here today.
Good morning. How are you all this morning? Welcome to the World War I Museum. Happy birthday for the Marine Corps. Thank you for your service. Welcome home also. My name is Bob Dudley. Welcome to the museum. Have you been here before? Volunteer here at the World War I Museum. I'm spending Veterans Day down here with veterans. World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. How are you all today? I love soldiers. The camaraderie. 1 July 1916. And the brotherhood I see in the veterans is very important. When World War I started in 1914, what do you think the major weapon was? Any veteran who has been in the service, in combat, can really come into the World War I Museum and see themselves. The battles that they went through, the trenches that you fought in, these specific items may be a little older, but they've all gone through the mechanisms to get into the military, trained up, go fight, and come home. Sir, how you doing today? Welcome home. I'm a retired field artillery colonel. Snipers or counterfire. Spent a little over 29 years in the Army. Both my mother and father had served during World War II. Most of their friends had. I always grew up believing that I should support my country. Enlisted in July 1968. A lot of my contemporaries were in Vietnam, and I was in college. I didn't think that was right. I went to Vietnam. I was a forward observer, a fire direction officer, and an executive officer in an artillery unit up on the demilitarized zone. 25 March 1971, Long Bay, Vietnam, out by Laos. It's a day burned in my mind because we barely survived. Today, we recognize our veterans coming home. They have parades, they have folks line up in the airports welcoming them home. Unfortunately, with the Vietnam generation, we were not welcomed home. There were no parades. I was spit on coming home. That was a kick in the teeth. And today, when you see Vietnam veterans, when you greet each other, they say, welcome home. Sir, how you doing today? Welcome home. Thanks for your service. That's because no one else ever welcomed us home. And so the Vietnam veteran welcomes each other home.
The trench war on the Western Front begins.
Veterans Day started off as Armistice Day from World War I. To me, it's really a special day because it is the country recognizing the cost of freedom and realizing that all the stuff that we do, whether it's Occupy New York or Occupy Wall Street, or whether it's freedom of the press, whatever it is, it all comes at a price. I see today coming in the museum, people in wheelchairs, people in strollers. And you're seeing the true extremes on ages, all of them recognizing, I think, on what the veteran has done for the country. It's important for the youth of America to see what the cost has been for the country that they live in.
Let us commit again to making sure that we maintain this beautiful, tremendous monument as a reminder of those who served in World War I.
A preview segment featured in the National Public Television documentary Veterans Day 11-11-11, airing on PBS stations all across the country this weekend.
You can see it on KCPT Sunday at 5:30. That profile, by the way, was produced by local filmmaker Jason Rhodes.
There's also another regional tie-in in this national documentary. Did you know that Emporia, Kansas actually lays claim to being the birthplace of Veterans Day?
Well, that story is also told in Sunday's film. Producer Pat Holloway, whose day job is a photojournalist at Fox 4 News, journeyed to Emporia to chronicle the town's Veterans Day celebrations.
Because this is where veterans started at, Veterans Day right here in Emporia, Kansas. It's a great honor to say that it did start here.
Salute! Veterans Day, it didn't used to be Veterans Day. It used to be Armistice Day, but then Emporia, Kansas, they decided to rename it Veterans Day, and now that's how Veterans Day got founded.
This is a day to celebrate not only for our people that are still serving, but our past veterans, give a chance to show them how thankful we are for this great country that we live in and our freedom and everything it has to offer.
Nice tag!
We don't have any immediate family that's serving in the military, so extra important for us to say thank you for those who do give up their time and sometimes their lives to serve our country.
We've seen a lot of military vehicles, some tractors, counting that one. We've seen lots of cars. That's a truck from World War II. Thank you! Happy Veterans Day!
It goes to show how important Veterans Day is to Emporia, and especially this one being a special day, 11-11-11. Maybe it's a place that everybody wanted to be today.
The city of Emporia, Kansas, getting its historic credit in the new public television documentary Veterans Day 11-11-11.
It airs Sunday at 5:30 on KCPT.
Next on the local show, we celebrate Kansas Cityans who are willing to put service above self.
We delve into the hearts and souls of local notables who have put the community above their own selfish interests in order to make this city a better place to live. They're chronicled in a new book called The Kansas City Spirit.
One of the things that we hope comes out of this book is not only a history lesson for Kansas City, but we hope that it is inspirational as well.
The Kansas City spirit is the best of the human spirit. It's what's noble and compassionate and dedicated and energetic. It's what keeps us moving forward in the face of adversity.
I believe the Kansas City spirit is friendliness, it's understanding one person with another.
You can't really tell the story of Kansas City unless you go back and you look at some of those defining moments which gave rise to the spirit.
Well, I think that the Chouteau family, who were the first permanent settlers in what we now know as Kansas City, are a great example of that. They came here early on before there were buildings or even roads. They built a couple of warehouses that were swept away by floods. Many of their countrymen were carried away by disease. There was shortages of food, but yet they kept going, they kept moving. They weren't daunted by momentary setbacks, even of a catastrophic nature, and that set the tone, I think, for others who followed.
Probably every generation has seen its own defining moments which shaped the Kansas City spirit. If we can keep passing that down to future generations, I just know that they'll want to contribute in their own special way to making Kansas City better.
And joining us now are Bruce Matthews, who compiled the book, and contributing author Mamie Hughes. Thank you so much for being with us on The Local Show. On the very cover, by the way, we have Norman Rockwell's famous painting there of the, we have the man rolling up his sleeves, which has become the iconic symbol of the Kansas City spirit. Help us understand, though, Bruce, why is that the iconic symbol of Kansas City spirit? How did that come about?
Well, the Kansas City spirit grew out of certain defining moments in its history. And in 1951, after the flood, Norman Rockwell called Joyce Hall and asked how he could help his friends in Kansas City. So Joyce Hall commissioned him to do that painting.
This, where is the painting, by the way, today?
It's in the Hallmark Visitor Center.
Okay. This is a absolutely massive book, though, Mamie.
Yes,
I mean, I went to my local hen house grocery store, put it on one of the scales, more than 3 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a substantial book with tons and tons of stories.
Right.
Which one comes out in your mind from the book?
Oh dear, one. Well, of course, the story of Samuel Rogers has to come to my mind first after living with him for 13 years.
This was your husband?
Absolutely, yes. That came out, but there are some others.
Now, he was the first black OBGYN in Kansas City. And I was just reading about all of this, helped sort of end the racial segregation of health care in Kansas City?
Yes, he had that spirit that was everybody needs health care, and we'll make sure we find some ways to do that, to get it to them. Whether or not they pay, they get the health care.
My favorite part in this whole book, and you've got a massive amount of people from Joyce Hall, some of the big names, J.C. Nichols, and you've got Ewing Kauffman. Mine, for me, was the story of Thomas Swope. And that is featured in here, and it was about the selfless service that you have in here to illustrate just how private a man he was on the day in 1896 when Swope Park was formally open to more than 18,000 residents. He came to the park early in the day to see how preparations for the Jubilee were going, and then he left. He was nowhere to be seen at the gala activities, and if he had... No one would have recognized him if they had seen him. There was no man, it says in the book, in Kansas City who was more adverse to publicity, clouding his philanthropic endeavors rather than Colonel Swope. That's selfless service.
And if somebody found out he was contributing to a cause, he would pull the money.
Now, all of the people featured in the book are deceased.
They are.
Was that a purposeful decision then, Bruce?
Absolutely.
You couldn't be somebody who was selfless service and be alive today?
Or Mamie would be in the book, and Barnett and Shirley would be in the book, and Joyce and Don Hall and Adele would be in the book. You know,
but that was a purposeful decision.
Absolutely.
Yes. Now, one of the people I was very amazed at in the book also is a woman by the name of Esther Swerk Brown. You write that story. This is a woman who helped desegregate schools in Johnson County.
Right.
Tell us about that story.
It was the late 1940s, and she was a white Jewish Russian immigrant, mother of two, living in suburban Merriam, Kansas, and she had a black cleaning lady by the name of Helen Swan. And Helen told Esther about the plight of her children. And they were going to a school, and the school district over there was going to build a brand new school. Only the white kids could go to it, none of the black kids could. So Esther took that up as a cause, and she worked with the parents in the school and organized them. And there was 11 desegregation cases before Brown versus Board of Education in the state of Kansas, and this was the last one, and it gave great impetus, I think, to the Brown family in Topeka. You know, they were even burning crosses in her front yard.
Yes.
And her husband had to give up his commission in the Air Force.
Yes.
Yeah, it was, A lot of these stories were very personal about some of the threats and personal risk that a lot of these people took.
You write the story of Lucille Blueford in this book, and there was who was the late publisher of the Kansas City Call newspaper, the African American newspaper. And one part of that story, which I found interesting, she got a degree in journalism from the University of Kansas, then went to get a graduate degree from the University of Missouri Columbia, but was denied because of her race.
Yes. No, not here.
Okay. Then a lawsuit was filed. Went through the courts. She won.
She won.
But then they just closed the program rather than allowing her entry.
Yes. But she was determined, and she pursued being a journalist, which led, of course, to her work there at the Kansas City Call. She found the stories. She talked about what was right. She talked about what was not right, and how some of those things could be corrected. And the community people loved her, and when I say community, this Kansas City metropolitan area.
And in your story there, it said she worked at the Call for 70 years?
Yes, she worked at the Call. Her office was open like I don't think I've ever seen an editor of the newspaper, such that you could look in the window and see her with papers piled on her desk, come in, talk to her, and of course that's how she got a number of the stories that she was going to investigate or have investigated.
These are not all people who have died a long time ago. We have very modern examples in the book, and you start with one of the first there is Tony DePardo, Mr. Music. Why is he in the book, Bruce?
His personality. Yeah. He was kind of like you, always had a smile on his face. Matter of fact, there are two people in the book that we referred to as being larger than life. One of them weighed 350 pounds and was 6'3" tall, and that was Mayor Bartle, H.O. Bartle. And the other one was 5 feet even. I don't think he ever reached triple digits in weight, and that was Tony DePardo. And in both of their ways, they were larger than life. And then I started thinking about Buck O'Neill, and I thought, Buck could be larger than life, but Buck wasn't larger than life. What you saw was what you got with Buck. He was life. He's the kind of person that all of us want to be when we grow up. And all the hatred and the discrimination that he faced, he never let it define who he was. Maybe
he let that word hate be replaced with love, L-O-V-E. Didn't want to talk about hatred. Okay, so it's out there. Let them deal with it. I say love, and of course that the greatest thing in all the world is loving you.
The greatest thing in all of my life is loving you.
Buck O'Neill is in the book. There's so many other people who we see the names of. We don't always fully appreciate the stories, but also are big examples to us. Della Lamb is in the book. We see that name everywhere.
Yes, yes.
But there was a lot of tragedy in her life. Lost 2 children through tragedy. Lost her husband through tragedy. Huge amounts of tragedy in her life, and yet came through all of that to do a huge amount of good in the community.
Made her more determined. Della Lamb Community Services,
yes.
Della Lamb Neighborhood Center. I remember my mother in the 60s going down there and volunteering, serving the needs of the disadvantaged kids, and primarily about 5th and Woodland.
Now, you say on the cover of the book that this is not just a history book. In fact, it would be a failure if this was a history book alone. This has to be more than that, and in your own words, it is a how-to book for future generations. An example is a powerful force. So this has to be that you want these stories then, that people are going to look at these, look at these examples of these profiles, and somehow follow in these people's footsteps?
Right.
Well, there's kind of 3 audiences for the book. Those of us over 60 who knew this Kansas City spirit well, who need to be reminded of it, and those between 30 and 60 who have somewhat of an idea of what the Kansas City spirit is. And it's, then there are those who are under 30 who have no clue what the Kansas City spirit is. But basically, Joyce Hall said that that's something good in the human heart, which enables us to put service above self to accomplish the impossible.
But overcoming the impossible is what comes through in that book. Knowing that it can be done. No, we look at it, we say, yes, impossible. But that's not in there. Overcoming all of those difficulties, or just a challenge, which is what inspires those very young people that we want.
The book is called The Kansas City Spirit, Stories of Service Above Self. This is a Kansas City Star published book.
It is.
And it's available where, Bruce?
In the Kansas City stores, of course, and it's available at Halls and Webster House, Barnes & Noble, or through me.
And you can go to thelocalshow.org, where we will show you where you can purchase this book. Lots of other people were involved in this book, Bruce.
Besides Mamie, there was Andrew Kaplan, who's current president of B'nai Yehuda, Christopher Leach, who's the director of the Kansas City Museum, Lynn Mackel, and Carol Powers. And the book was designed by DJ Matheny, and she did a wonderful job.
So Bruce Matthews, Mamie Hughes, thank you so much for being with us on The Local Show.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And finally this week, we continue with our occasional series of features we call Women and Girls Lead, in which we profile females from all walks of life who inspire us with stories of resilience, hope, and empowerment. The series is created for the web and TV and is a collaboration between KCPT and the independent television service. This week, meet Kansas City artist Peregrine Honig.
I'm an artist. I live in Kansas City. I grew up in San Francisco and I moved to Kansas City for college. I've had the luck of really academic approval, and I'm in some of the best collections, in the world, which means in some ways that I'm 35, sometimes I feel like I'm a mid-career artist, which sounds so ridiculous because I feel like I'm at the beginning, and I'm ecstatic and terrified at where I am at this point. I've been drawing for long enough that I have a certain amount of kind of calligraphic information that my brain can make my hand do. But even then, what I think I can do and what actually happens are entirely different things. And I'm really interested in those really small moments, like the first time like a mother tells her daughter that she's dressed inappropriately and what that means to that person. But I really feel that my work is for all people, for all genders. I'm interested more in, can I say that I'm a femininist before I'm a feminist? Probably. I own an underwear store called Birdie's. It turned 9 years old yesterday. There were art spaces and studios in the area, but it was not a thriving metropolitan. Let's just put it that way. You know, being a business owner in America, no matter how small the business is a pretty incredible thing. My studio informs my store, and my store definitely informs my studio because, you know, 9 years of owning a lingerie store, you'll learn a lot about women. I live at a time in a place in the world where I spend my extra money on a studio space where I can think and collaborate with people and develop my very intimate and personal views of the world. And that is an incredible place to be.
And you can learn more about our Women and Girls Lead project at thelocalshow.org.
While you're there, you can also check out some of our other video profiles that you might have missed.
That's a wrap for this week's show. I'm Nick Haynes.
I'm Randy Mason. We'll see you next time on The Local Show.
Principal funding for The Local Show provided by Francis Family Foundation, Frederick and Louise Hartwig Family Fund, Kaufman Foundation, Healthcare Foundation of Greater Kansas City, Hall Family Foundation, Johnson County Community College. Additional support provided by and KCPT members. Thank you.